Vultures 2 is never dropping. Here's why I think this. Kanye recently has been working on a trilogy of albums with Ty Dolla $ign called Vultures 1, 2, and 3. I'm really excited for the second and third versions of this album if they ever come out, which they likely won't, but we'll see honestly. If y'all listen to Vultures 1, you probably noticed it seemed unfinished. Relatively low production quality for Kanye. Typically when we see this with an artist, it's because they're gearing up to drop something harder and something to really shake the world after they get hit with the oh, it was overrated, it wasn't that good, it wasn't what we expected. But Kanye experienced a different kind of reception to Vultures 1. This album was received by the people as a banger. I mean, not a Kanye album, not a great Kanye album, but a banger. It had a lot of hits on it, like F Some, Back to Me was fire. Carnival went #1 for a couple weeks. That's exactly my point. He got his hits out of that album. People are talking about him. So why would he need to drop another album of better songs when the current album is still doing numbers? See, we saw something similar with Donda. Donda was another project that seemed very unfinished, but when it dropped, it was received really well. So when it came time to drop Donda 2, he didn't release it at all, at least not on major streaming platforms. And that makes sense to me because if you already have a banger album that's producing you millions of dollars, is getting hundreds and hundreds of millions of plays, what's the point of trying to shake the world again if you already did it without trying? And Kanye has never been afraid to make an album and never let it see the light of day. He's a very artistic person, so if he changes his mind about how he feels about the album or how he feels about the message, he will scrap it in an instant and we will never hear of it. Except for leaks that we see on YouTube and SoundCloud, but that doesn't really count. Kanye isn't trying to put out the most music or put out the best music. He's just trying to prove he's still at the top of the game. With this album, he did that. Even though a lot of the songs really don't sound finished. Like a lot of them, man, a lot of them sounded like jokes almost. Not like necessarily like poopity scoop, but they sounded like he was just in the studio one night, recorded it with the homies. The homie put down one verse and he worked on it for like hours and hours and hours. I feel like the way it should sound is like it should sound like a verse that was really made to be on a finished song, not the first verse he spit like on paperwork. Quavo's verse was horrible, bro. It seemed like he pulled up in the last 10 minutes of recording it, put down the quickest verse he could put down, and that's what they went with. So understandably, I'm waiting for Vultures 2. Hopefully it's gonna drop on all platforms, but we kind of know it's not gonna now. I believe he's gonna do something similar to what he did with Donda 2 in the STEM player, where he's gonna require people to pay like a baseline like $200 to listen to the album and collect probably more money off of Vultures 2 than he did off Vultures 1, considering it's probably gonna be better production quality and have a lot more time put into it. We've been hearing a lot of talk about him launching the Yeezy app, where he could sell his clothes directly to the consumer and his music as well, which is genius. And I think he should have been doing it the whole time. But the problem with that is it's gonna require probably a membership price or something like that, or something that you gotta pay, maybe just a flat price for the whole album. But I mean, I don't know how many people are gonna pay that. Me personally, if it's fire, if I see people posting about it, I'm gonna listen to it, bro. Generally speaking, I don't feel like fans of Kanye will be willing to spend the same $200 he asked for the STEM player just to listen to Donda 2. And Donda 2 was unfinished. But I believe he's doing something a little different with this one. I believe he's trying to make something a lot more polished and a lot more Kanye. Also, I wanted to add that none of Kanye's moves really make any sense. So we can't expect this one to be any different. He's a very sporadic person who just gets in a mood and makes a quick decision, and like we see it all the time with the stuff he says, and as well as when he drops albums, like he'll be quiet for years and years and years and years, and then a month be like, I'm releasing this album, drop the album, and then I'm releasing part 2, never drop part 2, or make us pay $200 to listen to part 2, bro, so we gotta listen to the leaks on Spotify before they get taken down. It's annoying, bro. And of course we know he's Kanye, he's still got it in him, so I don't know what this video is gonna end up looking like. I just kind of wanted to speak on that and let people know what I think about Vultures 2, because I've been seeing all these posts like, oh, Vultures 2 release date, and there's no release date. Or Vultures 2 set to release. Bro, it's not releasing. Hate to break it to y'all, it's not releasing. He's not dropping it, bro, ever. You're never gonna be able to listen to it on Spotify. I believe that with all my being. Hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys think I'm off my rocker, let me know, man. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, watch this video on something.